think it comes as no surprise that Inter are the favourites to win Serie A at -110, while Juventus, Napoli and Milan are all hovering around that +500. The last Serie A team that went back-to-back was Juventus, who went 9 straight seasons, lifting the Scudetto until 2020. So it's time now for our predictions for the season. Troy Deeney is also here with us to give his big picks for Italy. Looking good, Troy?
You look really good, Troy.
Thank you guys, I'm trying.
You did EFL this morning, right?
Yeah, some of us have to keep working. Don't just turn up whenever we want. We've been here since 7 a.m. But it's just a pleasure to be here.
So you did change your outfit?
Yeah, you got changed.
No, just put a shirt and tie, guys.
He's spruced up a bit.
Relax.
He was wearing a gym shirt before.
No, it just looked that big in it.
Probably
like you, can't do your button up.
I know. With an angel. An angel flew in from Sicily. Hey, I like this suit. Okay,
you look nice. Look very nice.
Okay, so I think we all agree, don't we, that Inter are going to win the Scudetto. So we're going to break it down a little bit further and look at how much we think that the confidence is there that they are going to win this season. I'm giving them a 70% chance. Troy, you feel even stronger, though, at 90%, and Grella is the least confident of us all at 60%. Why is that, Grell?
60% is actually a very high percentage when you consider that the field is there as well, and the bookies had them at about 50%, 52%, something like that. So 60% is like, I'm more sure than the bookies, so that's pretty high. You guys are a little outrageous with the numbers there.
I'm 65%.
They're the overwhelming favorites, and they've gotten stronger, and they've gotten younger, and they've gotten more athletic, and they got rid of a lot of guys that last season we were like, they shouldn't be playing at Inter. So they're just a really well-oiled machine, and they know exactly what they're looking for. They know exactly how to get it on the cheap, right? Stones on a free. The other guys, they got below market value, so it's just hard to bet against them.
But also on the flip side to that, when you look at everybody else, they're all going through change, through transition.
Exactly.
So that's why I've put them at 90%, because they are constant. They know what they're going to do. They've added to what was already a fantastic team. And everybody else has changed manager, changing players, looking for strikers. And that's why I've rated them so much higher.
Yeah, I actually think Inter's second team would probably compete for even a Champions League spot because of even the depth in the midfield, in the attack, and the defense. The only caveat I will say is that in the last 7 years, we haven't seen a team in Italy go back-to-back. It's proven to be extremely difficult. Inter hasn't gone back-to-back since they won the treble with Jose Mourinho. And maybe this is the year, like after they won the Seconda Stella, where they focused on Champions League. That's the only argument I think you could have against this Inter team is, do they put more emphasis? Because if there's 2 knocks on what they did last season, it's going out to Bodo Glimt, and it's losing in those big games. So those are things that they need to improve upon.
And also, their 3 most important players, Barella, Di Marco, and Bastoni, have had the entire summer off, which I know you mention every time we're on air.
I don't want to hear it from you, Grella.
They got rest.
A nightmare this summer to watch every single match with. I went with 70% because I don't see a team that I even feel confident challenging them for the Scudetto, but we'll see. Obviously, there's been a lot of new managers as well in Serie A with the managerial merry-go-round. Of all of these, which one do you think is going to have the biggest impact, positive or negative? Troy, let's start with you.
I've gone with Ruben Amorim. And weirdly, I'm going to sit on the fence. I don't know if it's going to be positive, and I don't know if it's going to be negative. That's why I think it's going to have the biggest impact. If he gets the backing, which he looks like he is, and the alignment between him and ownership are really strong, it could have a massive impact. You saw what's happened with Cesc Fabregas, trying to implement a different style of football, more counter-attacking and also pace and power. Maybe there's some positives there. A lot of changes needed in terms of the style of football they played last year. And also we've seen at Man United, he can be too rigid to one system. And if that doesn't work, then it could be in trouble. So I'm 50-50, but I think Ruben Amorim could have the biggest impact either way.
I think it's going to be Sarri. I think Sarri and Allegri are the 2 best coaches on this graph. And with Allegri, we know exactly what it's going to look like. We know that also Napoli are going to, play in a more defensive manner, and there's going to be a lot of balls whipped into the box. They have a decent team, but if Allegri couldn't do it with Milan, I think it's going to be a similar story to Napoli. Haven't really added much in the transfer market either, but Sarri for me is the one, because I think if they can keep Ederson, which he just hit at a renewal, like Marco explained to me before, if they keep Ederson, Sarri is the one that could take Atalanta maybe and push them and maybe surprise us, just like Como Roma surprised us last season getting in the Champions League. They could be a surprise package, and they're only playing Conference League football, be easier to manage. and they could probably sneak themselves into the top four.
We don't know if they're going to go through Conference League. Yeah, they had 0-0 the first leg.
Yeah, we don't know.
They got to go away and win.
Saudi is one of the best.
And you were all really impressed with Sarri last season with Lazio because it was everything else kind of that contributed to their downfall, not so much the manager. What about you, Marco?
Yeah, I went with Fabio Grosso from Sassuolo. He joins Fiorentina. I thought he did phenomenal with Sassuolo. I loved his tactics. I love everything about what Fiorentina is trying to build. I think Grosso is one of those few from the 2006 generation of Italian winners that is going to become a really good coach. Get the ball out wide to the wingers. His Sassuolo team beat a lot of the big teams as well, so they were difficult to beat. And I think also he's been given the best team. If we want to go on the negative, the guy below him, though, Gennaro Gattuso to Lazio is one of the most shocking moves from this entire list.
Are you scarred from him?
In 6 months, he had Italy knocked out from the World Cup to Bosnia, the World Cup qualifiers, and he got knocked out of the Coppa Italia by a mid-table Serie B team. They lost at home to a mid-table Serie B team, and 85% of their ticket holders did not renew this upcoming season. So what an uphill battle he has. He's probably the least culpable for the situation at Lazio. He's not the only problem, but I don't know what more he could do to this Lazio team that Sarri did last year.
It's going to be a bizarre feeling at the Olimpico, isn't it, with so few fans there this season. The players that have come in, though, on the other side of the managers, who do you think is going to have the biggest impact, Grell, with their club this season?
The guy right in the middle of the graphic, actually, and I hadn't seen this graphic before, Santiago Castro. He's a big kid. He's Argentine, bully up front. He hasn't, been the most clean finisher in front of goal, but, he can, at Roma, where they're going to put a lot of balls in, he's going to have a lot of service. If Milan can, maybe play behind him or on the sides more, he could be an absolute monster. I think he's a great signer from Bologna.
Would you risk changing Malan's position?
Yeah, that's a good question. Gasperini will know, and he'll tweak it, and he'll play with it. And plus, they're playing Champions League football, so they're going to need both of them at full force anyway. But he can only play as a 9.
Yeah.
Mullen can do a little bit of everything, so it'll be interesting to see what he does.
Marco?
Yeah, I love the Brits. I'll leave that for you.
We're taking over.
Yeah, I love a lot of these players. I mean, Mastantuono is such an exciting player. Aya Begovic. I'm going to go with Gonzalo Ramos because Milan played the entire last year without a center forward. And Milan's number 9 position has really been cursed. You look at the last 10 years, they haven't had a striker that scores more than 15 goals. Olivier Giroud was one of the only players that had worked out in the striker position. Most expensive signing in the history. But he fits Amorim's system. You know, they want to play really good football. His link-up play so far in preseason has been good. And again, if you could get to that 15 goals, it'd already be better than any of the other players that have been brought in for the last decade. And I also want to believe that Milan, a team like Milan, should have a top-class centre forward.
Yeah, I was actually going to go for Ramos. That was my pick as well, because I think it's really intriguing when you've been a number 2 striker, now you're going to be the main man. He's obviously got the talent, he's won things, but now it's going to be a different expectation when they say, right, you're the guy that's got to score.
It's different.
When you're coming off the bench and impacting games or coming on when you're winning, see games that is different as opposed to week in, week out, the opposition are now looking at you going, how do we stop you? So that was going to be one. But, as you mentioned, it's not the Italian league. It's not only going to get better unless you add more English guys to it. So that's where Jed Spence, Curtis Jones...
How offended.
Can you imagine if Inter don't win? You two don't show up. Don't show up.
We got our excuse in Champions League.
No, but I think Inter's business has been really, really good. Jed Spence, for me, is like for like in terms of player profile to Dumfries leaving. I think he gives you more as well in terms of availability. Dumfries had a lot of injuries. John Stone's been there, done it. You know what you're going to get. Curtis Jones.
Troy, do you think that John Stones would have still gone there regardless of his good World Cup run?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think these things are spoken about for roughly 4, 5, 6 months, and you started to look at how it is. Where he is as well in his career, he can't play as many games. So in the way that the Italian league is set up, you attack, we attack, I think it plays into his wheelhouse. Curtis Jones is the most interesting one for me. He's done okay at Liverpool, showed little signs of he can be brilliant, but he's really wanted to go out and show to people, I am the man. And the fact that he's gone to Inter, he has all the ability to do it. He had a little bit of a scuffle, if you remember, in pre-season this year with Sabozza because he didn't get the armband when they changed over. He has that personality, like, hey, I want to be the man. I wonder whether he could do that in Serie A. I'd also wonder whether he could do that at Inter in terms of the ego. So it's going to be a really interesting
They
one.
were lacking a leader, right? That was one of the big knocks on it.
I don't think Curtis Jones is going to be a starter in the Inter midfield right away. I think it would take time. But I think the one note on the British players, why they went for this, I listened to Chivu's press conferences, and he keeps talking about intensity.
Yeah.
When they lost to Arsenal in the Champions League, he said, we lacked from an intense point of view, and the English league is the most intense league for the way that they train. And I think that's why a lot of the players that they got, besides some of them being free transfers like John Stones, that's what Chivu thinks they need to get to that next level in Champions League.
But also because they turn the ball over a lot. There's a lot of loose balls.
They need our brain to coach them.
In Italy, not so much.
Let's have a look very
Just
quickly.
on that, he said really quick, he said, hey, they got our brain. I said, why can't you sort your federation out then? You missed 3 World Cups.
Also, Chivu's Romanian. He's not Italian, but it's all right.
What about Serie A teams in Europe then? Because Milan and Juventus, they're in the Europa League, which changes things. We're not used to seeing them play in that competition. Como's in the Champions League. That's the big addition. And Atalanta, as you mentioned, they're making their way through the Conference League playoffs right now. Which one's going the furthest?
My initial pick was Atalanta. I hope they can win this game away because I think that the Conference League is made for a team like Atalanta. I think Sarri has won the Europa League as well with Chelsea. They have it all. But I think this year, my hot take is that we're going to have 2 teams win in European competitions. I think we'll have a winner in Europa League and we'll have a winner in
You just said
Conference League.
Atalanta. You don't even know if they're going to make it through to the next round.
I'm hopeful.
Okay, so if they go through, they'll make it the furthest. What about you, Grell?
You know, Inter will probably be the furthest team in the Champions League, which is the highest competition, the most interesting one. But Roma and Como, I'm really interested to see them play. I also think I have them finishing the top 4 again this season.
Yeah.
I like the quality. I like the project. I like the continuity, like Troy mentions, about the 2 managers. They know exactly what they want from the team. It looks like they've had pretty good transfer windows. They just keep adding players. And the fact that they kept Paz was incredible. That was a huge statement from them. So I just love Roma Como, their project and what they're trying to do. And hopefully one of them 2 are the ones going furthest. But you never know. Champions League is really difficult.
Yeah, I'd actually have to take the guys out of Champions League. In terms of going the furthest, you have to look at these bottom 3. I'm going to go Juventus. I don't think they're going to be second in the league at the bookies. I have them at the moment plus 500 to win the Scudetto. For me, I think they're going to end up focusing on this. I can see kind of an Aston Villa comparison where they get so far into the season, it's like, do we go top 4 or do we win this competition? And I think they're going to win that competition, which still guarantees them Champions League football.
Even they'll beat Milan, you think even?
I think so. I think Milan have a lot of issues to resolve, and I think it'd be unfair to expect them to get into the top 4 and win this competition as well.
Como is so interesting to me. I really have no idea what to expect from Como. Obviously, they've got the big signings. They've got Nico Paz. What is a good, level line for them to make it, Marco?
I mean, what they've done is incredible. I think keeping that consistency, if they get back to Champions League again, it would be absolutely incredible. But I think as long as they're in the top 6, they're still in the position to continue building.